Hey, what up, y'all? It's Derrick Grace. Allow me to formally introduce myself. I'm a number one selling author, 29 years of age, full-time father, homeschool instructor, app developer, amongst other things. I ain't gonna lie to you, I don't feel like trying to figure them all out, and that's not even important. What we're here to talk about is the creation of in-home banking, where it started from as a concept, the courses, the curriculums, the transition into the game, and what we're doing with the streets with in-home banking. Take a walk into my world.
You know this visual A1.
First and foremost, y'all, before we get started, I gotta plug my big bro, uh, best in the city. He like, hey, when I do my photo shoots, he the one that always cut me, you feel me, so I could get my my Calvin Klein and shit on, you feel me. DMs jump every time I get a haircut by him. You know, DMs go crazy.
That's what I try to do. Have the DMs go crazy. That's my nickname. DMs go crazy, Steve.
Yeah. Hey, matter of fact, bro, drop the what's the IG?
Steve 813. Hashtag the Steve Cut. Check out some of my work. It is what it is. Anything for little bro.
Listen, if you fellas, I know a lot of y'all. This right tax season coming up, right? You need to be, you know, you got to be on your best behavior and have the best imagery for your lady. You gotta let my bro cut you so you can get a piece of them taxes.
I just want a piece of them taxes just a little bit.
Really dig into the context clues. The thing, no, I'm not even gonna blame them because maybe I could have been more specific with the title. But anyway, a lot of people think what I basically mean is just go take all your bread, take it out of bank, stick it under your mattress. I tell everybody, if you're gonna do that, then you might as well leave it in the bank and get that little BS interest they're gonna give you. But for the most part, through the course, through the curriculums, and not a board game, we just assessing the entities that feed off of us on a daily basis, weekly basis, bi-weekly, whether it be insurance, banks, jobs, any financial institution, period. But basically, what most people don't realize is that those entities are not a necessity. They only a necessity based off most people traditionalism. And when I say traditionalism, that's because somebody taught them they was a necessity. But if you break it down, factually or by like their actual purpose, we can literally replace them and do everything ourselves. So that's basically what I've been teaching people in home banking is how to be their own banks, create their own loan systems, fund their own ideas, things of that nature. Um, a lot of us are solely relying on a system that wasn't created for us in the first place. So that's why I think rather than outside banking, in-home banking is an absolute necessity. Well, look, to give a real life example, this year with my investment group with in-home banking, uh, let me see how to run it down so it makes sense real quick. All right, I got probably roughly like 8 or 9 people that's in the investment group. Collectively, they put in about $80 to $100,000 this year. I took that 100, right? So this how it worked. They stimulated my business economy by believing in me and investing 100 grand. I then took that money, put it into advertising, marketing, because marketing my thing. That's why I love. That's why I major at. We jumped back in 12 months. We made roughly like $912,000 off $100,000 worth of investments. And then secondly, the way I stimulate their economy is everybody in my investment group gets a 20 to 30% ROI on their money monthly. Like most banks not gonna give you over 4% on interest, but I do 20 and 30 per month just to show people like if we had a collective identity, we wouldn't need a bank, we wouldn't need any of that. We get enough bread hand in hand in the streets to suffice. Like we really don't need outside entities to charge us interest, but it's an upside down business deal. So as far as the culture, I mean there it is right there. Like just a prime example. If you got 10 grand right now, I'm positively sure you can find 2 people who need 5,000. You stimulate their economy by loaning them the 5,000. You drop the contract paperwork XYZ, and then they're gonna reciprocate the stimulation of your economy by way of paying you interest monthly on the money that you loan them. You remove the middleman. They don't gotta go beg a bank for help, and you don't have to do business or pour money into insurance or 401ks to get interest. You can do all that at one table with your own people. This year, I retired my mama in July. Same with my pop, so we now business partners. We in home bank together. Uh, and I got like 3 or 4. I don't even want to call them employees, but I got 3 or 4 people that's under me in a sense that I stimulate their economies. They provide me a service, and I reciprocate it by paying them a wage that makes sure they family straight. And I'm gonna tell you something else too. When you controlling the board, which y'all know I'm big on, like jobs be giving people pay rates, but when you control the board and we are moving with integrity, you actually could look your partner in the face and ask him like, you know, granted he not being outrageous, but you could literally ask him what type of money he needs to, be content or have a decent lifestyle. And you can meet him there. That's not the goal of jobs. Jobs gonna tell you what they feel like you're worth. You either gonna accept it or you're gonna be jobless. To be real, our people, ethnic people, are overly in love with entertainment. To be honest, you're not gonna really capture their minds unless it's some form of entertainment. And I can give you a gazillion examples. Like if you look at the attention to detail when it comes to the educators of this era, and you look at the following of an athlete, you'll see it. Like they love entertainment, they love drama. So essentially, what I had to do was trick black people into helping themselves. If I'm gonna be real with you, I put it in the form of game because it got to be entertaining. It had to be colorful. It had to be lights. It had to be something to make them laugh. And everything I create is always family based. So that was a must too. That was one of the biggest reasons for making it a board game. But I saw through example, like with just writing a plain curriculum and telling people to take a course, the reception wasn't the same because people just. It's unfortunate, but we like. I don't know. I really don't have to go into it because the signs is in front of us. If you pay attention, you'll see it. But people are much more enthralled in entertainment. So basically, what you have to do is you have to create edutainment, and edutainment is just entertainment and education intertwined. So that was the whole goal of the board game is just to be real. Like in this line of work, a lot of your people, you're gonna have to, it's the medicine and the candy method. You're gonna have to trick them into helping themselves. Like I can pull out a book right now and be like, bro, this book got the keys to life and the fountain of youth, and he may second guess it, but if I jump out, with $100,000 cash, and a decent looking stripper, and be like, yeah, bro, I'm living a life. You should listen to me. Not all of us. I'm not gonna generalize all of us, but many of us would then listen. So it was all marketing, and it was also me just finding out a way to infiltrate the black home. Look, this is why I tell people all the time, like it's not a game, it's the game. So I'm gonna give you an example. Most of my people don't know about trust funds. Most of my people going through divorces and losing half of what they got, or they're not protected from the IRS, the government XYZ, because they don't know how to, allocate their funds into a trust and make sure it's privately protected. So, that's one of the things I know. Trade lines. A lot of my demographic and my peers went to school with a friend from another demographic who graduated to a Benz and a house. Meanwhile, we were just trying to figure out how to keep gas in the little 95 hoopty we had in the year 2000. But what that stems from is that you have other demographics and nationalities. They're educated on credit, right? They'll attach their child to their credit line, run up at 800, and by the time they son 18, 19, he got the buying power to get anything in the world. Meanwhile, we grow up with phone bills in our names or no credit at all. Like, what I've learned too with the courses is that most people in my era, the millennial generation, and of my ethnicity, the only thing they know about credit is just that they're supposed to pay it on time. Like, credit is a strategy based type of currency. It's not something you just leverage and you just use it and pay. No, it's a certain way to leverage it to make sure you win. So, from trust funds to credit to the disparity of crack sentences. Another thing a lot of my demographic don't know about, like there's a huge disparity in cocaine sentencing and crack sentencing. So basically, cocaine is more so a drug for demographics that have more money than us. We're gonna be real. It's a white man's drug. It's a rich man's drug. Powder cocaine. Crack cocaine is typically what makes it to our neighborhoods. But if you look at the sentencing of the two, the disparity is damn near. I want to say it's like 80 times more more time that you'll get with crack cocaine and powder cocaine. So, man, it's just a number of obstacles and traps that many of us are not even aware of. So, like, that's why I tell everybody it's more so the cheat codes. I just put it in the game format because I needed people to, like I said, the whole medicine and the candy method. We made it look good, but you don't understand. Like once you actually crack it open and play it, I'm gonna force you to start moving on a different frequency. All right, well, look, the first thing people got to know is that people of color, like, all right, let me just give you this. If I only had a following of 1,000 followers, it wouldn't mean nothing. But I influence the influencers, like the athletes and the entertainers that a lot of people look up to are the same people who look to me for information. They're the same people that bought the board game. So what you'll start to realize is that um, when you're able to like hold a pulse on the collective of people and get them to buy into what you're saying, other people who purposely withhold this information will put certain obstacles in the way to halt what you're doing. So I'm not even gonna use their name because we're not gonna get them no shine in this documentary. But
XYZ.
yeah, XYZ, one of the biggest board game companies like worldwide. Period. Right? Damn, if I give this example, you're gonna know who it is. All right, so look, we had a conversation with a board game manufacturer. They had three immediate concerns, and this was the catch 22. If I did business with them, they would expedite the process of the game, meaning like I could have been hands off. We could have literally had the game distributed in 1 month and been done with it. But this was the three concerns. Number one, the title of my board game would have to have their name in it. So basically, it would have to be like in-home banking, blank, blank, blank. Anything that they touch, their name has to be present on it. Number two, by contract, they're allowed to tell you how many units you can produce per year. So say my game had the demand of 10 million people, but they said, Derrick, we're only doing 1,000 units of your game in the calendar of 2019. I would just have to sit still because I signed a deal with them. And then number three, one of the biggest concerns was me softening the information in the game. And that's the point I'm making when I say like it's the game and not a game, is that most games are like great pastime, family fun, XYZ. But it's not a lot of games, if any, that's gonna teach you how to practice group economics. That's gonna teach you like people know the term generational wealth, but they still ain't figured out how to create it or transfer it. It got that type of information in it. Like I'm gonna give you another example of something that's in there, right? Um, a lot of us have grandmothers or grandfathers who are old and elderly right now. So this is a tool you could use. Now to get them a life insurance policy would be really expensive because of their age. But this is how you literally can catch generational wealth in 5 years. Now, not banking on anybody, grandma or granddad dying, but I'm just giving you a real example. Your grandma 95 years old, and she leaving soon. You take 10 of her grandchildren, y'all pouring $100 a month and get her $1 million policy, because it's gonna cost you a lot because she's so old. When grandma leave, you take $1 million and you split it amongst those 10 grandchildren. How many of us died and had a grandma that left 100 G's a piece to each child? I didn't. I don't got no homeboys or nobody that did. So this is literally stuff that you could pull off like right now. Again, not speaking nobody grandma dying soon, but this is something like if you know that time may be coming. This like literally tools we could use right now to transfer generational wealth within the next 5 years. So as far as the release, now it was a lot of obstacles from copywriting and trademarks to other companies stepping in to to those miscellaneous emails and DMs you get regarding the information that you're putting out. Like, and I think one of the biggest parts that people miss is, I be 30. I be 30 in August. Most 20 or 30-year-olds that run into their first liquid $1 million is not going to take it and pour it back into the streets. And I'm not knocking nobody if they don't, but the point I'm making is we trying to build, not trying, we in the midst of building schools, educational hubs, apartment complexes, gun ranges with the tools that we put out into the universe. So essentially me putting the in-home banking board game out and the funding from that is going to open up the doors for quite a few things. I'm even speaking on that. We closing on an educational hub next week actually that we're gonna be opening in February. So I mean, as far as the obstacles, man, it was plenty. Cause I'm gonna tell you, like most missions get stifled by a lack of capital. You know, not saying it from a braggadocious place, but I got a lot of capital. So the issue now you're gonna run into is, okay, let me rewind real quick. Black leadership go through a couple different levels, right? One level is they're gonna diminish your character. Another level is they're gonna attack you legally. Another level is they're gonna attack you physically, and then the other level is like, you know, as far as paperwork and things of that nature. That's how they come at you. If you go back in history at any leader, you'll see like it's typically 4 to 5 different ways they approach them before they just all out physically approach them and try to erase them. So no, it's plenty of obstacles, and like I said, like with my following and things of that nature, we got enough behind us to rival like big companies, and that's gonna come with I don't know, it may come with the territory. I ain't tripping, but no, it was plenty of obstacles. I told people all 2018, like I literally told them save this video because I knew they would come back and we had this conversation. But man, even outside of the food stamps, like the market is set for a crash. So what a lot of people not even taking account of is that the cost of living is about to get crazy. The national interest rate has already been approved to raise by the government and the feds. And speaking of the food stamps, I actually saw yesterday. I think it was.
See, minimum wage went up.
Yeah.
$8.50.
Right.
Come on, man.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
But look, bro, that's all the more reason why, like, I'm trying to just get everybody on the type of time of either getting their own or finding multiple streams of income. But nah, man, I seen a post yesterday regarding the food stamps that said, I think it was Indy. They was like, they can't accept food stamps no more because of the government shutdown. So nah, man, to answer your question, like, they go hand in hand with do for self, or like I said, create multiple streams of income. Like, I'm not anti-job at all, but I tell people all the time, like, the American dream is a facade. The American dream wasn't created for the one-income worker. And if you don't believe it, just look at most people with one incomes and see how they living. It'll clearly show you, like, the game not set up for the people who only got one income. Like, I quote, what's his name? Dick Gregory all the time, right? He gave this example. A mother on welfare WIC has a limitation on how much apple juice she could buy. But a man can take a prostitute all around the world, label her as his secretary on paperwork, and he get a tax write-off. That itself shows you that, like, that goody two-shoes, self-righteous player by the book shit is for the birds. Like, if you're not going to find a way to get the codes that they got to the game or outwit the game, then, you're going to be lost in the sauce to the day you leave here. Like, that's something I see, too. People be so, like, self-righteous and perfect and shit that they don't recognize it. This is my true belief. Like, the rule book was made for the poor and the lazy. Because the motherfuckers who wrote the rule book wrote another book that's like 3 stairs up for themselves. Like, nobody with bread follow none of that shit that they tell poor people to follow. So, no, man. It's like I said, what you got to do for self. That's the biggest thing. I don't watch the news. I don't watch shit with Trump. I don't know what the fuck he be having going on. I just see shit on IG every now and then and laugh and keep scrolling. My kids don't know who Trump is. Hey, yo, so basically, we taking a quick mini tour through the city to some of the properties I want to acquire. For those of you who don't know, I mean, I've been talking about it for a little over 2 years, but of course, y'all know. I know you know this. We're looking to open the Unlearn and Relearn Academy this year in Tampa, Florida. Outside of that, I want to. I've been looking for large unit apartment complexes. I got an ideal in mind about creating an educational hub. Basically, we would bring families in low income. They have to pay very little to stay there, but there would be stipulations to stay there. So, some of the stipulations would be they have to attend mandatory classes on the weekends. They would have certain workshops they got to attend. They would have certain things that they got to maintain within their personal lives in the household to keep their residence. Because basically, it'd be like a 24-month cycle, but the whole goal is you come low income, but your ass don't leave here low income. Due to those mandatory workshops and classes and information that we're going to give you, you essentially have the tools to go out and conquer the world following your departure from this low income housing. So basically, man, like in a nutshell, just an educational hub. and sleeping grounds, if that's a easier way to put it. But outside of that, I've been telling you guys also that I've been working on a creative space. I know a lot of creators, I know a lot of entrepreneurs, I know a lot of innovators, a lot of people with amazing ideas and concepts, but they have nowhere to hone in on their talents. So today, you guys are gonna see us do a walkthrough of one of the buildings that the second building we're about to acquire. For those of you who don't know, I set a goal with myself. I want 1 to 2 properties every month of 2019. I closed on one maybe like 3-4 days ago, and today you guys gonna get to see the sneak peek. Listen, the building is in shambles. It's a little beat down, but y'all gonna get to see it from the starting point of what we about to do with it and what we're gonna do with this creative hub, to where, like, the thinkers, the innovators, the leaders, the people who have amazing concepts of this millennial era and this generation, they'll be able to hone in on their talents, and they'll be able to utilize me in a private location at any time they need to get whatever information, whatever game, or whatever insight they need. So y'all just, keep it right here, and I'm gonna show you a couple of these properties that we plan on taking over and making a part of Graceland. Hey, what up, y'all? So we got the famous grounds. If you pay attention to my IG, you saw this video before, the current school we at. This is the location I'm seeking to buy. Like I said, whether it be this one or whether it be another one, it's the Unlearn and Relearn Academy is going to happen in Tampa, Florida, 2019. But like I said, speaking of the video that I posted, if you saw it, more so back then, I was looking for support from other people to team up. But you guys know a lot of times support is just verbal. When it's time to actually move, a lot of people don't move. But we're not here to harp about who didn't. We're here to talk about what we're going to do. So like I was saying, y'all, with the Unlearn and Relearn Academy, this is the building that I'm seeking to grab right here in Tampa, Florida. And I told you, man, some of the big things that's going to separate this academy is, number one, we're going to have a revolving door for teachers, meaning the teachers are going to be graded by their peers and the students. So basically, I know a lot of you guys, you hated Miss Jones first grade, and you had to deal with Miss Jones all the way to 4th grade, because that's just the way your school system was set up. We'll have a revolving door, so you won't be forced and confined to continuously be taught and build with somebody that you necessarily may not appreciate. From the in-home banking classes to the parenting classes, the tactical training classes, the gun classes, business. I mean, I can go on and on, but it will be a curriculum-based academy. It will be a custom curriculum-based academy. And another big thing that I know people are going to appreciate, I want to have child-taught classes. A lot of times children receive the information a lot better from their peers. So that's something else I want to put in place. But like I said, it's a number of things, again, because this question has been asked a gazillion times. It is a family academy. The entire family is welcome. I'm going to tell you guys right now, the daytime will more so be geared towards the youngins. Evening and afternoon will be geared towards the older people and the youngins as a family. But like I say, man, Unlearn and Relearn Academy 2019 is on the way. If I don't get this building, I'm going to get another one. But rest assured, if I said it, I'm going to make it happen.
Well, in-home banking, like, honestly, I can't even lie, man. At first, I was a little skeptical about it. You know what I'm saying? I was skeptical about it because my dog, my homeboy, he was telling me about it. But at first, how he was explaining it didn't really make sense. So when I got with Derrick, and he kind of broke it down to me, and went more in depth with it, it kind of like sparked me. You feel me? So I'm like, I wanted to do like math, the numbers in my head, with, with stuff. So I ended up I was on like my last little, I want to say my last 2,500 invested with him. Boom. He say, hey, bro, come see me in about 6 months. What it was, D? About 6 months. It was about 6 months. Honestly, I can't even remember, but I know when I came back, it was there. You feel me? So from that point on, hey man, that man changed my life. I can't even lie. You feel me? Because it gave me more time to spend with my kids. I was able to walk away from a dead end job, dog, like slaving me. You feel me? I'm talking about 10 hours, shit, sometimes 15 hours. You feel me? Able to walk away from that job, invest into my business, kick it off, and I'm here. You know what I'm saying? And it took me a while to bounce back. You feel me? By me investing in what Derrick had going, not really knowing too much information about it, but when he broke it down to me now and we built that trust, you feel me? I'm able to ride off of that, and man, it just changed my life, honestly, dog. I can't even, it did a lot for me, and it continued to do a lot for me right now, you feel me? Because everything what I've been through before, you know, this shit was like a miracle. Like, it was, man, I invested with this man. I'm up. I ain't gonna say what I'm up right now, you know what I'm saying? Because you ain't supposed to do that. But I'm up right now, and it's unbelievable, kid. Like, honest to God, it's unbelievable. I'm up right now. Big plans for this year. I'm able to buy, like I said, I'm able to buy the things that I never had, even though it'll be foolish, you know what I'm saying, to buy the things that I have in my mind. I ain't gonna do it. It'll be foolish, but just being able to have the funds right now, you know what I'm saying? Knowing you can go do that, but why do that when you can invest that money into something that's gonna triple, you feel me, quadruple, you feel me? And I know by me making the money that I'm making, what I'm doing right now, and bringing that back to Derrick, putting it back into him, I mean, it ain't no losing, that's all I'm saying. And I never had this in my life, like, ever. Ain't nan nigga came to me and put me up on game like this, you feel me? If I would have had this dude in my life, 2011, man, listen, it would have been a wrap, kid. It would have been a wrap. Like, I mean, but, hey, all I'm gonna say right now, dog, like, the future, you feel me? This man right here, the future, he the future for our kids. He the future for our families, dog. He bringing that unity back. He bringing that. I'm seeing niggas, like, I got homeboys I ain't seen shit in a couple years, but a recent meeting Derrick just had. I see one of my dogs. I'm like, damn, I see you moving here. Like, shit, you know I gotta move. He said, you know I gotta make moves. Man, that just showed me that the unity, dog, like what this man is doing right now. He a major factor right now in our city, kid. A major factor. But by y'all having that mentality of the crabs in the bucket, y'all gonna miss out on this shit. Y'all gonna miss out.
I'm gonna tell you this, he one of the longest lasting entrepreneurs I know too, cause my boy been out here rocking for a long, long time. But I'm gonna kick it to you, bro. You share with him what you do.
You know what I'm saying? We've been around, you know, a little minute, you know what I'm saying? Really designed it off my grandma's name, you know, keeping her name alive, you know. That's who we, you know, we pray to, our ancestors, you know what I'm saying? They keeping us afloat.
Yeah.
They are guardian angels and everything, but it's like a family business. We've been around a little, ever since I was like 18 on 27, turned 27 January 10th. And I just been kicking it, man. I started off on the back of my truck.
Bro.
Thank you, bro.
Happy belated.
I started off on the back of my truck, just in the hood, just watching my homie cars, $10 for a car wash inside the night. And just kept it going, you know, found a couple spots, been bounced around, but really got stationed right here, you know, over here by Charlie's Market off Slime Roulette, and ended up getting my dealer's license and just keeping it moving, man, just adding to the plan, you know, just keep staying afloat. We here, come check us out, man.
Appreciate you sharing, bro. Appreciate you. Hey, listen, he a hell of a pops too. Outside of just business, he do his thing in that daddy field. So, you know, I had to plug that too. You know, I'm big on that daddy shit.
You know, that's what motivate us, man. You know, that's what motivate us, man. Yeah.
Appreciate
you, bro, for stopping in, man. Take care, man.
Yeah, you too.
Hey, my name is John Green, and I'm here to talk about the in-home banking, about Derrick Grace, how I came to get into this in-home banking thing, not having a clue about it. I met Derrick one day through someone else, and it just so happened that, you know, the guy was talking about him, and he was telling me about this guy named Derrick Grace. So one day I picked the guy up, and he was like, hey, let's go meet Derrick Grace, or I can hook y'all up and y'all can sit down and talk, because he's all about, you know, helping people, helping the youth and all of that. So I was like, cool. So we came over to his house, we sat down, we kicked it a little bit. I told him what I did in terms of my business and all of that, and you know, he was like, well, I need somebody to ride me around. So I was like, all right, cool. But I just like blew him off for like a couple of months, but he kept calling and calling and calling. So one day we finally hooked up, and you know, I started driving him around. So he made me an offer, and the offer was, you know, how about you doing this in-home banking thing? And I said, well, what is it? So he explained it to me and what it was about. And I thought about it for a minute, and then I said, you know, that's a good idea, not thinking on the bigger concept of what in-home banking is. Now that I've been with him for over a year, I sort of like understand, and it's a good thing for me anyway. I can't speak for anybody else but for myself. What in-home banking has done for me through Derrick Grace is that he's given me the opportunity to grow with the extra cash that I have in areas that I wouldn't have never thought about. Today I own 3 houses, and with my 3 houses, that extra cash can help me pay on my homes. It also can I even can bank it to even purchase another house if I just sit on the money. That's part of in-home banking. But my whole thing about the in-home banking is to support the boss, which is Derrick Grace. Why do I want to put all my energy behind Derrick Grace? One, because I understand the concept of collective economics. And also I understand the concept of taking one person with the greatest idea and putting all the energy behind him so that everybody else behind him will grow as long as he's winning. We his backbone. That's what I think. That's what I think about in-home banking. It can't get any better than that, than to let him flourish, do what he have to do. We don't have a lot of chiefs, and he don't have a lot of chiefs in his camp. We all try to support him 100%. We want to see him grow. We want to see him move so that we can be successful also. It's a benefit to the whole crew. Not only that, by him succeeding and going as far as he want to go, everybody behind him come up right behind Derrick Grace. So it has been a great blessing for me to do the in-home banking. Not only that, I get a chance to keep money in my pocket as well. So in-home banking is one of the best things that you can ever do. Coming from the streets, moving to my own business, moving to having houses, and looking to do even greater things with the in-home banking concept along with Derrick Grace. I totally and fully support him 100%.
I was gonna mention bro, when I posted that you was coming, man, listen, that motherfucking sell shot. You know what I'm realizing, bro? Well, I already know this. We visual people. Once the prototype is done, them sales gonna quadruple.
I just said that last night. I
And
just told Khadijah that last night.
I ain't gonna lie, I'm already at a place of like moving like 50 to 70 units a day. I know it's gonna be one of them days like
see it.
honey going, yeah.
I know it.
That's what I told her.
I just said that last
Bro, I was gonna wait to bring y'all. I was like, well, I was actually gonna come now because I gotta go to somewhere, St. Louis Friday. Then I got LA next week. I'm like, I'm gonna wait till this summer. I'm like, nah, me and Nadi gotta get it in right now.
Hey, listen, this is real. Everybody think this a joke. This is no joke.
We lying, we flying, but no, listen. Derrick has been changing lives for years. But right now, 2019 is his year to really show y'all in the world, you know, that it's serious. And if you don't get on now, I don't know what to tell you about 2020, because 2020 gonna be a big year. Oh, I'm sorry, my investment. But anyways, look, 2020 is gonna be a big year. 2019 is gonna prepare y'all for 2020. So whatever y'all wanna do right now, you better get it started. You better holler at your man. You know DerrickGrace2.com. Holler at him. He got plenty of social medias and outlets for you to find him. And you need to do that. If you don't, you're gonna kick yourself in the foot. Don't be butthurt when you see everybody shining and grinding.
No script.
And you on the back end.
You know how I kick it. It's real. This ain't I ain't reading nothing. Ain't no cue cards. This is for real. You need to get with the process. Trust the process. I started a little late, jumped on a train. Ben knew about it, was kind of iffy. When I got on, I jumped up. It's actual factual, 20, 30, but that's in a little proportion of a year, like less than a quarter of a year. It's out there. Opportunities out there.
Bro, you wanna in-home bank with me? As easy as this. Look, I got some money. I want to invest in your company. All right, I just want to return. I don't want all of it back at one time. I just want to return, and then vice versa. We gonna keep doing this. Do you want to do that?
No, why not?
That's as simple as.
Why not?
It's as simple as. That's what.
I want me
That's
some
what we're
money.
doing. That's what we're doing.
If y'all know me, y'all know I want me some money. Yeah, this real blue cheese.
Think about it. Think about it. As a matter of fact, no. Don't think about it. Just do what you gotta do. If you gotta crawl, walk, skip, hop, fly,
Yeah.
whatever you gotta do.
No minimum, no.
No minimum, no
Just keep
maximum.
it. No minimum.
No maximum. Y'all know where to find them at.
Okay, number one, I think Tampa is an amazing place, especially for families. I think the balance is here of righteousness, ratchetness, consciousness, all that good stuff. It's a great balance. A lot of entrepreneurs, a lot of money in the city. But we don't really have somewhere like a directory for us, for our culture, or like a piece of this land or a piece of this culture that we could really feel like is ours, that we feel, that we just don't have that at-home type of vibe here at Tampa. I mean, here in Tampa. So basically, man, I'm launching Project Buy Back Tampa, and the goal of that is to essentially, of course, get funds if you plan on buying something back, but not even long term, man, just within the next 12 months. I want this Unlearn and Relearn Academy open. I want this 4-storefront plaza, which will include the nail shop, the organic nail shop for Derrick / hair store. I want a retail spot for my books, my curriculums, things of that nature. The biggest, I think, of the 4, though, is I want a creative space for innovators and creatives. And I think not even just in our city, but nationwide. Well, I mean, shit, worldwide. Some of the places I've been out of the country, they don't have like an incubator where creatives can go, where they're welcome to exercise their most wildest ideas, their dreams. And then also have somebody like myself who runs the establishment, who can assist them in building as well. Like, basically, it's one thing to have it's one thing to build a basketball gym, but if you was able to get LeBron to house his basketball training out of the same establishment, then that's a win-win for anybody that attends. Not only can they hone in on their skills, but shit, you got one of the baddest motherfuckers that would touch a basketball who could give you game as well while you're there. So I want to do something like that for creatives, thinkers, entrepreneurs, innovators. All right, y'all, come on, take a walk with me. So, I told you guys the goals for 2019 was to acquire 1 to 2 properties per month. A couple days ago, we did go ahead and lock in, deed work, all that good stuff on the property regarding the building that I was telling you guys about. We're gonna start doing this year. Property number 2, location number 2. We're currently in it. Y'all come with me. We got quite a few renovations to do. We got some work to do, but nevertheless, this is it. That creative space that I've been telling you guys about for the past year. For the creators, the entrepreneurs, the innovators, the people that want to hone in on their talents and their skills, you have nowhere to go. You got somewhere to go now. We're going to turn this shit into Grace Conda, in other words. So like I said, January 12th, we got 2 properties down for this month. Listen, I told y'all, and I'm going to keep my word. I'm going to bring it home. If you're not in my city, don't stress. But I'm going to make this city a safe haven for education, protection, self-knowledge, self-love, all those good things. So you guys get to see it beforehand. When I bring you back again, just be ready. And if you're in the city, definitely be ready. We're going to make some amazing things happen at this location. Well, that's why leading up to it, thanks to Darby, I got these community organized events coming up. So that's why things like the turkey drive I'm doing on the 19th is so important. The coat drive, the toy drive, the haircuts and hairdos next month is so important, because that's me taking the initiative to try to create that camaraderie and that synergy in the city. And you're right, though. Most people that run into me here don't know I live here. They think I'm passing through them on vacation, whatever the case is. So, no, 100%. But that's why I'm taking the initiative on that end to even create the energy so people know, like, it's actually somebody here. And they actually give a damn. They doing things, they expending their resources, their time, their energy, to bring some form of camaraderie in the city. But no, man, and even the low-income housing, I think that apartment complex would serve as a great hub for that, because everybody gonna be on a similar type of time. Everybody came in here with the mindset that, hey, the goal is not for this man to let me live here 5 years. The goal is for me to get my shit together within these 18 months, so I don't have to be low income anymore. And
In the name of Jesus. That's God's name, not Father. Father is not a name. It is a title.
Hey y'all, I know a lot of y'all are big movie buffs, right? We had a movie back in like 91, 92 called New Jack City. I know a lot of y'all are familiar with Nino and y'all familiar with the Carter. I bring that up to make an analogy, right? Imagine the Carter being heavily armed still, being of the people from the culture, but instead of giving them dope, we giving them actual food. We provide them with actual services, actual information and workshops that help them to come out of the Carter to be, you feel me, to go build their own fucking Carter. That's the whole goal of what I'm trying to do with this low income apartment complex. So like I said, man, it's all about Project Buyback Tampa. Y'all stay tuned. I'm hunting, we in the works, and we definitely gonna make it happen in 2019. So with Project Buyback Tampa, essentially what we talking about is things like this, right? And you know, it's the same city to city, ghetto to ghetto. We get these apartment complexes called projects, right? Low income housing. They claim to be looking out for us, giving us away XYZ. But essentially what's taking place city to city is gentrification. And I know y'all know all about this because y'all going through the same thing in y'all city. But what I'm trying to do with Project Buyback Tampa is that, we're gonna grind, we're gonna hustle, we're gonna do what we gotta do, but we're gonna come to the table with our own bag, not being solely reliant on outside entities to show us the way. Essentially, when I was speaking of the apartment complex, this would be ideal, right? So basically I would come through, totally purchase something like this with 100 to 150 units, right? We bring those families in on a weekend basis, and they have to attend mandatory workshops and classes during the weekends, eventually, so they can no longer be low income. The whole point is for me to bring you in, rehabilitate your mind, your finances, your economic situation, and put you in a better position. The issue that takes place with a lot of these is they don't teach these people shit, they don't give them shit, they don't do anything. So essentially, you have people living here for 10 years, they got comfortable with this system. One day they get a letter saying you got to get the hell out, and now they're displaced in a whole nother area in the city. So basically, you go from one project to another, your mind hasn't changed, your finances haven't changed, nothing's changed. You're in an identical position. To me, honestly, that sounds like you buying time. You literally took nothing from that situation. So that's one of the big reasons why Project Buyback Tampa has to happen. I want to grab those same people, but you can't hang with me for 5 years not doing shit and being the same person. You're going to have to grow. You're going to have to move. You're going to have to break out of that shell. You're going to have to open your mind up to new things. And you're going to have to get your ass out of that apartment complex and no longer be low income as well.
It'd probably be like a square.
No, but he wants 9 though.
He needs 9.
Yeah, but I mean the board will be
Less
this
is
big
gonna-
though.
yeah.
You can't. You can only get so whatever.
This standard
size.
size is this
It's
kind of
pretty
like,
much the standard
yeah.
size because that's the standard
Well,
box.
the box, exactly.
Yeah. But see, this is how they fold up nowadays.
Yeah, and 4.
That's a good way.
All right, let me get my paper.
They have to save. Whoever gets 7 got to save at least 2 people. But then
somebody's
that's.
gonna go bankrupt.
But what if it's only 2 people playing?
There's only 2 people playing. Then you have to. It's a contingency. Like you have a rule. Like if it's 2 people playing, this is the goal.
This is the goal.
If it's 5 people playing, this is the goal.
I agree.
And how do you say they save people?
How they
Invest in whatever is bankrupt in us. I guess invest in
you
them
trying to
somehow.
invest in them and try to save them from going bankruptcy and getting them 7 streams of income. Because the whole goal is to help each other and stay within a network.
Derrick, go grab the money from me out of the room. Knowledge. Okay, Daddy. Hey, lady. Hey, baby. Hey. Say hey. All right, go to Sissy. Go over to Sissy. Knowledge on the help count. I got it. I'm trying to keep everything together. You're gonna separate them. We gotta count out 200,000, so it's easier if you keep the 20s with the 20s and the 100s with the 100s, 50s with the 50s.
Okay. Oh, separate each. Alright. Make sure it's going to make sure it's all 50.
That's all, I already went in that one. That's all 50.
Yeah. So that's going to go in the bag.
You're doing knowledge.
Alright, all hundreds.
Yep, got some 20s in there. Oh, a lot of 20s in there.
I make sure there's no 20s in this.
But yeah, bro, one of the most disappointing parts, I think, in the whole equation of things, it's not as disappointing as it was before because I've learned to deal with it. But a lot of our people are dealing with a level of self-hate that they haven't even recognized that they're dealing with. So basically, a lot of us are frontlining and fighting for a demographic of people, and we're wondering what the love is, or what the reciprocation is, or what the value is. But they don't love self. If one doesn't love self, you can't expect them to love you or understand the value of what you bring. And I say that to say this, bro. Like, a lot of people, they see the glitz and the fun part, but they don't see what goes in on the back end. People don't understand, you know, like the death threats and things of that nature, the adversity we run into in airports when traveling. They don't understand the ramifications of having to hire an entire security team for your children and your family. Like, you know, some people know, some people don't, but I retired my mother this year. She full time takes care of my children. But people don't understand, like, the mental gymnastics that come with covering A to Z and making sure your family is 100% covered and protected, because you're sharing information with a demographic of people whom you don't have to, whom you owe nothing, who you are not responsible for. And I think that's where the lack of value part come in. Like, example I give people all the time is a lot of their favorite entertainers, they athletes and they rappers, they actors, whatever. They know the same information I know, or even more. It's just they love their false sense of security, and they love that freeness that they have with their families, that they'll never share the cheat codes. They'll never share the secrets to wealth. They'll never teach anybody the things that they know that they're not supposed to teach them. People like myself, we actually go out on a limb, you know, against our lives, and we understand the type of machine we up against. We understand, you know, how certain entities play games. Like, we can open our history books. We've seen the outcome of every ethnic leader that has some real solutions that he was implementing and getting the demographic of people to change. We've seen the outcome. We ain't got to say it. We already know how it goes. So the point that I think a lot of people miss is they kind of have this sense of entitlement, or they devalue it. It's never a gray area. It's either they have a strong sense of entitlement or they devalue the shit you bring into the world. And like, one of the biggest things I always remember in that aspect is something like my teacher used to always hit me with. They used to say shit like, "Mr. Grace, I have my diploma. You trying to get yours." So when it comes to the people, a lot of times, it's unfortunate, man, but that's the way I feel a lot of times, because you literally can give them everything. You can give them the keys to liberating themselves, their children, entrepreneurship, happiness, self-love, self-knowledge, and a motherfucker will devalue you. A motherfucker will treat you as if you owe them. Meanwhile, they'll turn around and support a motherfucker that brings nothing of value to their lives. So, and again, outside of the value part, people just don't know that everyone that's around me that travel with me has to have a permit to carry. Everyone around me has to have some form of tactical training, because we don't know which way something may come, but we know, again, history shows that it does come and it will come. So, more times than not, man, like, one of the things I learned is that humans tend to not value things till they no longer have them. And a lot of times I feel like that will be the case for the masses. They won't value this body of work, this information, this consistency, and these actual solutions until they're no longer present. And, you know, a lot of us are back in the same fucked up state that we've been in. So, it's not the whole family, man, but it's a couple of my babies, actually. Got a new one I just grabbed. This is my new baby, my new everyday carry, nice and slim, 9mm Smith & Wesson. I like literally just got this. Only had her 24 hours, but as far as the collection, man, it's a number of things, a number of precautions I use to make sure the family's safe. This one of my favorite babies, 50 caliber Desert Eagle. We got the 45 Mac 11 over there. We got the Rhino 357. She is a monster. I'm gonna be real with you. I don't even like shooting her. Like, your hand ache for about a week. I'm a Glock man though. Don't have them all here. Got a couple of them though. Glock 42, 380, Glock 30, 45. Got a Judge back there. This is not my gun. It's actually Derrick's gun. Damn, I am missing a couple handguns. I know. Yeah. Anyway, that's another story. But these some of my big babies. One of my favorites. Mossberg 500. Pistol grip, of course. You got the AR back there. You got the Uzi back there in the cut. Couple AKs on that side. Another one of my favorites. This is one of my childhood favorites. I always wanted Tommy gun. I had the toy version for Halloween back in the day. When I became a big boy, I had to go get the real thing. But that's another thing, bro. I get comments like on time like, why do you have guns? Or, that's excessive XYZ. But I think a lot of people don't really understand how much we put on the line. We're actually giving people some information that they're not supposed to have. Like, if you look at the box of the board game, it says the information we are intentionally never given. If you haven't figured it out, and it's for the people that's under a rock. If you haven't figured it out, right, a lot of the information that I'm sharing with you goes directly against the central banking system. We're interrupting the system that was put in place many, many moons ago, and that has kept us oppressed while other people got crazy rich over the years. So, common sense may say, if I have $1 trillion business, right, and I got this loudmouth little motherfucker who feels the need to educate people on my gazillion-dollar business and tell them how they can either create their own or they could do away with mine, I may get pissed off one day and I may want to do something about that. And, I try to break this down to people so they understand, right? If I had 1,000 followers, it'd be nothing. But the fact that I have collectively between Facebook and IG around 600,000, I actually influence the influencers. So, like, the big dogs who a lot of you guys may look up to, and I'm not saying this to flex, I'm just being honest. A lot of the people that influence the masses, I actually influence them. And I'm not saying it from the standpoint of being braggadocious. I'm telling you why it's dangerous. See, what happens when I create a chain reaction amongst the people who typically create chain reactions but give you bullshit information? That is a dangerous, dangerous place to be in. And I take it with a smile. I'm not tripping at all. I don't even got to get into that. Y'all know how I feel about that. It's nothing. But anyway, I just want to touch on that real quick, man. I think a lot of people devalue the information that's given, and they devalue the tenacity it takes to do so. Because I'm telling you, your favorite rappers, your favorite entertainers, your favorite athletes, they know the game. They're just not willing to give it because it's easier just to collect the check at your detriment. It's easier just to tell you how they fuck bad bitches. They got big bags, show you they jewels, and keep it moving. They could give you the game, but then that would jeopardize their livelihood and how they eat and their families, and they not willing to do that. They're going to sacrifice your ass before they sacrifice theirs. Be mindful of that. You know the things I'm into, man. I love peace, but I do love the preparation of warfare. That's why I like being around the nation. Because this, and look, I love that blueprint Farrakhan got, right? But I'm going to add a twist to it. I'm going to get young, disciplined niggas who strong in their beliefs. On a similar type of time. We definitely will be armed. We will be openly armed. And we will be a lot more vocal about the repercussions that's going to come with any resistance. But that's why I think, like, our culture fucked up, because we have no collective identity. Like, gang members ain't even, I ain't gonna generalize it, but gang members haven't even started a coalition to make sure niggas know we shouldn't do XYZ, or we shouldn't tolerate XYZ. So, nah, man, that shit. I'm gonna be real, man. Just to me, that the voting shit, a lot of times it's just like it's a trendy, like, it's like a trendy entertaining show.
See, but here's, I get your standpoint on the voting piece, but the piece that really needs to be honed in is that we got to understand the power of getting together and using the vote to make it work for us.
Right, no. So
that's the missing piece.
No. I agree with you 100% on that part. Because, I say it all the time. I want more street niggas to be lawyers, to be judges, to be advocates for government. I'm with that 100%. But I can also say the graduating class we've been voting in since I've been alive, ain't none of them niggas on that type of time.
I agree with
that.
So,
to be real, we need a black Trump. Until we get one of them, then niggas gotta stop voting. Stop wasting your motherfucking time. This nigga ain't got your best interest. when he come through your hood, he gonna come with Secret Service. He gonna mob through on some private shit. He gonna hug, kiss babies, and get the fuck out of there. Nah, I want a nigga on the podium that's on that Trump time that's gonna be like, yeah, I hear you, but shit, y'all motherfuckers kill one more person in goddamn Florida without a gun, and you watch what happens, and leave that shit at that.
A lot of people envy that or whatever, you know what I'm saying? So you have crowds in the pot say, I want to be in his position or whatever, that don't want to.
But no, with every movement, you gonna have to filter certain niggas out. There's nothing like you could envy, but if you about your issue and get your head knocked off, most people that's envy is not. They just hate quietly. The real issue is that I've seen like I go sit in the city council meeting with the city council. Then I have niggas that message me and be like, "What you doing that for?" They don't really understand politics and that if you could infiltrate the man at the top of the pyramid. And I didn't infiltrate in a negative way, but put it like this. I tell people all the time, like, don't. Yeah, I know, you know what I'm saying. Like, I tell people all the time, don't condemn your partner for wanting to be a judge or be the police.
Correct.
Those type of relationships are a necessity. I know from firsthand. But I'm saying with the city, though, our city's so economically behind. Like, bro, I don't know. I ain't gonna not worry about them, but I really be concerned sometimes. Like, these niggas gonna be in the year 2019 and 2040 because LA, not on the same type of time. Those niggas is 100 years ahead. Like, every time I'm with an LA nigga in LA, he putting me on some shit. I'm like, damn, really? Like, y'all niggas ain't doing that in Florida? No, we know that. Like, bro, the West is light years ahead, so
this
niggas want money, they don't want to learn economics. That's the real issue.
So just imagine y'all have Derrick. Derrick don't even have to be seen. Let's just say that y'all point Derrick the point man, right? Derrick can go. I'm gonna tell you this. This is a fact. Like the so-called people in the community is supposed to be the leaders who's speaking for the black people. The politicians is paying them to get our women or people who can vote to vote for the politician they with, and they getting paid 25 G's, 50 G's, 100 G's. That's the way it's working.
Nah, bro, I know someone who really don't give a fuck about us, but for the check, they come stand in our neighborhoods and y'all get out there and vote now. Make sure they just hit you with a whole 20 piece.
But that's what needs to happen. Once the streets come together and knock all of them out, y'all pay. Y'all be a millionaire. Y'all be a millionaire in less than a year. And then everybody would have to come to that point person. They would have to come, and then that's where the tribes sit down and say, "This is what we want."
That's what I mean when I say there's no collective identity. Because if we have 5,000 people in the city, be like, we on one accord, we got a code, and we stick to the code. Niggas will be forced to deal with us. Cause you gonna need those 5,000 people to win. Yeah, you gotta come sit at our table and beg us to be like, hey, can y'all help? But as long as we scatterbrain and shit, niggas gonna keep getting gentrified. You got niggas that live in the West that's gonna be displaced way out in Wamama somewhere and can't even afford that shit.
Because they want this. They want this, and they'll do anything they, you know what I mean? It's a known fact or whatever. You know, they shy away from this because it's a bad image or whatever. But when they see the profit and the value in it.
I want to personally thank everybody that supported the in-home banking board game, the courses, the curriculums, whatever you did. As you can see throughout this documentary, you're serving a way larger purpose other than educating just yourself. A lot of that energy, a lot of those resources are strictly going into the upbuilding and uprooting and empowering of our culture. First and foremost, though, before I end this documentary, I want to personally, I want to thank David Banner, I want to thank T.I., and I want to thank Juice of the Flatbush Zombies. Those three individuals have been very instrumental in just my psyche, period, as I was working and grinding to build this school, to build these apartment complexes from A to Z. We had quite a few people in this process that, you know, did advise us they were going to lend a hand and whatnot, and they didn't. And I'm not using the conclusion of this documentary to harp on that. I want to focus on the three individuals that I just mentioned. So I want to thank you all extremely. And I know no business, none of that has taken place. I don't want you to be confused. I just want you to know those phone calls, those messages, and those follow-ups meant everything to me. A lot of times you guys contacted me throughout this process. You didn't know what I had going on, but I was on the verge of giving up. I was on the verge of saying, fuck, worrying about everybody else. I'm gonna just worry about myself. I was on the verge of a lot of things in the process of this board game, this academy, and everything. And you guys, again, whether you know it or not, you guys played a very vital role in my mental period. Just feeling encouraged and feeling like I'm really gonna get this shit done. One more thing I want to touch on. I just want to make this point. Now, we showed you guys within this documentary how I in-home bank in real life, in real time, not just a board game and concept. Now, through me in-home banking in real life with the strangers and the people that decided to invest with me, I was able to retire my mother. I was able to create a budget that I pay my father, although he's retired, pay him monthly to make sure that he's as comfortable as can be. I was able to hire a couple of my siblings. I'm now able to fund an academy now for a whole demographic of people whom I don't know, but they need that actual help. One of the biggest things I want to bring to y'all attention is my children don't attend public school, and I think a lot of people overlook that in this whole process. I've been an entrepreneur for 8 years. Most of you have only known me for 3. And I say that to say this. Just going back to the value and the devaluation of the people that matter the most. This academy is not for me by any means. This academy is for the many people who feel left out, who feel isolated at school, who feel like they're getting a watered down and dumbed down education. This academy is for the streets. The apartment complex is for the streets. I don't need housing. My children don't attend public school. This is for these streets. So I just want to touch on this real quick. And it's not a question to answer right now. It's a question you could just let rest on your conscience for a little bit. Why is it our culture devalues the people who actually gives us tools to build with, and they pedestal the motherfuckers who give us nothing? So you'll question somebody who's giving you tools of empowerment and education. You know, like intellectual property, the shit that doesn't go anywhere as long as you capture it in here. But you love and you continuously praise and you continuously blindly support. I'm sorry. The motherfuckers who just feed you shit that's detrimental to not only you but your children. Think about that for a second as a culture. And one other point I want to make, like I was saying, I had an investment group, right? Last year in 2018, roughly they invested maybe around $80,000 to $100,000. I took that 100,000 and we times it by 9 by the time the year was over. As I stated, I've been able to retire relatives, employ relatives, create buildings for the streets, create educational hubs, like the stuff that we're bringing in real time right now. So, not even really a question, but my point is, to my culture, I'm disappointed in a lot of you. And those of you who know who you are, you know who you are. This is not, I'm gonna say this, it's not to the people, but to my culture and a lot of the influences in my culture. And my disappointment may not mean a damn thing, but I just want to share. I'm really disappointed. I saw in real time what you could do for a collective or a generation of people with only $500,000, with only $1 million. We could be doing a lot more. We have no collective identity, and a lot of us merely only meet with the people as a feeding process. We meet them, we get what we need, we get the fuck on, we take care of ourselves, we take care of our families, and then we double back and meet them again when we need to feed again. So to the people, I just want you to keep that in mind. Be conscious of how you devalue and how you press the people who actually bring something to your life, and how you blindly support and give everybody else a pass who only come to your life when they need something from you. The selfless, one day, they snap out of being selfless and they start worrying about self. So I say that to say this: enjoy these times. I may not be in a position forever where I just feel like neglecting my family just to help everybody else's. Be mindful of that. That day may come, and everybody got to figure shit out individually rather than collectively. Thank y'all for tuning in to the In-Home Banking documentary.